Ladies and gentlemen, people think that because you're a Trump supporter that you support all Republicans or the Republican Party. I'm a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. Oh my God, chas v'shalom. That means God forbid in Hebrew. I am not a Democrat or Republican. By the way, share my Times of Israel article. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. But this is breaking news, big news. Richard Burr, the never Trump Republican Senator Richard Burr, who helped foment and spread and disseminate and just publicize the Trump-Russia hysteria. Just months back or a year back or months back by saying, the Senate confirms the intelligence community assessment. The Senate Intelligence Committee confirmed that everyone who fomented the Trump-Russia absurd hoax myth was only confident when they did so. So that's like saying, I confirm your viewpoint that Michael Jordan is the best player of all time over LeBron James or Will Chamberlain or whatever. You pick an amazing, icon, basketball sports icon. I confirm your viewpoint that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. I can't confirm your viewpoint or your assessment. That's impossible to do. The Senate Intelligence Committee confirmed the Intelligence Committee's assessment. So this is the nonsense that Richard Burr was a part of. Always a thorn in President Trump's side. Now he'll get to see what the wonderful wonderful establishment, the apparatus of the FBI and politically motivated investigations, how they end up when he is now the target. The difference between Trump and Richard Burr is that Trump never committed a crime. How do we know? Because they didn't impeach him on anything to do with a crime or any action he took. So that's the difference. Richard Burr sold stocks after classified briefings. So Watergate was a break-in. Richard Burr sold stocks after classified briefings. Hillary Clinton had top secret intelligence. And I will have made the biggest political call of all time because we're going to do it all over again, folks. It's going to be fantastic. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. Share my Times of Israel article everywhere. But basically, Richard Burr sold about a little over $1.5 million versus of stock. Well, by the way, the political element of this is Dianne Feinstein also sold stock. Her and her husband sold around $5 million worth. Feinstein, a California Democrat, sold $500,000 to $1 million, and Senate records show her husband sold $1 million to $5 million of shares on February 18th. So, then Senator Feinstein and Jim Inhofe sold as much as $6.4 million worth of stock. So Jim Inhofe, I think, sold less than $1 million, and Feinstein might have sold $5 million or about $1 million for Inhofe, and then Feinstein sold about $5 million. Then you had Richard Burr, the North Carolina senator, selling around $1.7 million of stock holdings. But then you had Loeffler sold as much as $3.1 million. Kelly Loeffler, that's hilarious when you consider she's married to a top official at the New York Stock Exchange. I think the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. But FBI seizes Richard Burr's cell phone. Why didn't Richard Burr just simply take a hammer and bash it into non-existence? Why didn't he just wipe the cell phone clean? Why didn't he negotiate with the FBI? Because his name is not Madam Secretary. Only Clinton could do that. But Richard Burr almost certainly engaged in insider trading. Okay. Why they're singling him out over Dianne Feinstein, I don't know. But Dianne Feinstein had a person who was found out to have been engaged in espionage for years and years and years, but they didn't engage in crossfire hurricanes. So there's different standards for Republicans, different standards for Democrats. Democrats get away almost always scot-free. That is coming to an end with John Durham and William Barr. But you got to ask yourself, when the FBI wanted Clinton's servers, she basically said, "No, I'm not going to give you the servers, and you can't have the servers. They're not yours. These are my servers. They'll remain private." Even though they had top secret, eventually we found out they had top secret and special access program intelligence on these servers. Illegally transferred, by the way, because there's no legal way to transfer that type of information anywhere outside of the United States government. Clinton was running servers outside of the United States government. The Espionage Act, U.S. Code 793F, that's if she didn't intentionally use the servers, but of course she intentionally used servers with classified info. But when the FBI asked for her cell phones, the FBI asked for her servers, they were either all obliterated or wiped clean. Richard Burr never had a chance to wipe his cell phone clean, and if he made stock purchases through his cell phone, then there you go. I don't see how this is going to end well for Richard Burr. But Dianne Feinstein sold more money in stock, and of course, they don't seize her cell phone. But this is interesting. Los Angeles Times, FBI serves warrant on Senator in investigation of stock sales linked to... Okay, so federal agents seized a cell phone belonging to a prominent Republican senator on Wednesday night as part of the Justice Department's investigation into controversial stock trades he made. Senator Richard Burr of North Carolina, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, turned over his phone to agents as they served a search warrant on the lawmaker at his residence in the Washington area, the official said. So the seizure represents a significant escalation in the investigation into whether Burr violated a law preventing members of Congress from trading on insider information. To obtain a search warrant, federal agents and prosecutors must persuade a judge. Here we go again with the FISA judge. But they must persuade a judge, so therefore the judge has all the information. They didn't persuade a judge pertaining to Feinstein. They only persuaded a judge pertaining to Richard Burr. So the law enforcement officials said the Justice Department is examining Burr's communication with his broker. Such a warrant being served on a sitting U.S. senator would require approval from the highest ranks of the Justice Department. So there you go. Maybe William Barr is looking at this from a political perspective. I'm not sure. All I know is that this was a never-Trump Republican. Basically a Democrat when it comes to foreign policy and when it comes to Trump-Russia and when it comes to other issues also. Burr sold a significant percentage of his stock portfolio in 33 different transactions on February 13th. Burr and other Senate Republicans received briefings from U.S. public health officials before the stock sales. That's what they're going to get him on, almost certainly. Burr and other senators received briefings from U.S. public health officials before the stock sales. So, do you think maybe the briefings led him to believe that the economy would tank? You think maybe he knew about shutdown orders before everyone else? You think maybe he knew that the economy would have absolutely nosedive and tank beyond belief? If so, then you have Inhofe and Kelly Loeffler and Dianne Feinstein also possibly investigated or probed by the FBI. Again, you're only seeing them go after Richard Burr, which says everything you need to know about how things run in Washington, D.C. It also tells you the futility in in trying to be a never-Trump Republican and thinking that you've embraced the rear end of the establishment so much that you're in the clear. The difference between Trump and people like Richard Burr and Hillary Clinton is that they can't find anything. They literally want his tax returns to find out, to see if he possibly committed a crime, because they don't have a crime that he actually committed. They're investigating the possibility. The FBI is not investigating the possibility that Richard Burr sold stocks. He did. They're not investigating the possibility that he sold stocks after he was briefed about classified intelligence pertaining to the situation regarding health in the United States of America. We already know this. We already know that he sold stocks after being briefed. We already know this. This is already a fact. It is not a fact that Trump has committed any crimes. They would have impeached him had he committed crimes. They would have impeached him on a criminal statute. They didn't. And the Mueller probe indicted nobody for working with Russia. They literally set up and framed Trump and fabricated a possible crime. Then they searched for information or data or evidence by trying to flip and squeeze and set up people like Michael Flynn. They found nothing. They'll never find anything because they made it all up. With people like Richard Burr and Clinton, who will be the nominee again, you don't have to make up the fact that he engaged in activity that is an obvious... It's not just him. It's Dianne Feinstein. It's the two other Republicans. But Richard Burr is constantly over. Oh my God, with the Senate, with the Russia. And at the end of the day, he helped uphold a system that favors one side over another. Now he's probably asking himself, well, wait a second, why am I the only one? I mean, it's just like in high school or in middle school or in elementary school. Everyone's talking, and you say one word, and then the teacher says, "Hey, what are you doing? Why? Stop talking." This is number one. He committed a crime, almost certainly. Number two, Richard Burr is in hot water. Number three, it's possibly related to the fact that the Senate, other senators in another committee, are going to vote on a Hunter Biden probe next week. So this actually helps Trump, which is hilarious because Republicans now know from here on out, if they go along, I mean, you had Mitt Romney, you had other Republicans who were like, oh, his conduct regarding Ukraine was so horrible. He didn't withhold military assistance to go after his direct political rival. Biden is a horrendous candidate who's there in name only. He's only a placeholder for Clinton. I am the only person on the planet who is telling you this. And when Clinton becomes nominee, they will spin it to where the plausible deniability and the excuse and the reasoning is justified, and oh my God, it's not a big deal, and oh my God, it's not that big of an issue, and we have to stop Trump by any cost, by any means necessary. But FBI serves a warrant on Senator investigation of stock sales linked to. Okay, so he was given information. He sold stocks right after he was given the information. It's pretty clear cut. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a segment up on there. Really great segment. Bizarro World Goodman will be back very soon. I'll have another great segment up, and it's my alter ego. Share my Times of Israel article and my Huffington Post article in 2017. Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. Share the article also in the NPR that quoted me. Hillary Clinton was unelectable because of swing states and favorability numbers. In that same paragraph, 538 said Trump wouldn't be GOP nominee. Give me your thoughts below, people. This is going to be very interesting. Give me your thoughts below. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below. Richard Burr now is going to experience what Trump experienced, except he actually committed a crime. Very likely. Almost certainly. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.